And now it's time for Church Chat.
Hello, I'm the church lady, and this is Church Chat.
Hey everybody, it's Billy from DFW Speed, coming to you January 1st, 2019. Happy New Year, everybody. On today's video, going to be a little bit out of character for myself, but I'm sure you see from the thumbnail, that's what got you here, so let's talk about it. All right, so as you can see from the title and the thumbnail, today we are talking about the channel Demonology. Now, this is a little out of character for myself because normally I just keep things inside. I don't normally put things out there like this, but it's something that's been bothering me for a long time now, and so I figured since in today's YouTube climate where Destroyer Gray Productions, Philip has basically called out a few different channels, MotorTube and Tall Guy Car Reviews, and rightfully so. So that being said, it's kind of given me a little bit of courage to kind of share my story and be a little bit real with you guys and share with you my side of things. So real quick, we're going to cover a few different things that have happened from different videos that were posted over on Demonology's channel. So let's go back to when the demon killer situation happened. Now, that right there was, that sticker was made as a joke from a friend of mine from a video that he saw of me and Herman on the highway doing a little test hit. This was prior to the crate being installed in Herman's Demon. So, definitely not a, comparison when you're talking about, a highway pull from a Whippled Hellcat versus a 808, horsepower stock tune non-crated Demon. So after him seeing that video of how quick my car was, he kind of as a joke made the funny little sticker, said Demon Killer. So I slapped it on there, mostly just to rile up people's feathers, not really taking it too seriously, but oh my God, it definitely brought out some people, that had some pretty strong opinions about it. Now, we're talking about the video that Herman posted with Demonology versus the World, where at that race, Herman had told me that he didn't, prior to this, he had said that he didn't want to run me because, he knew how fast the car was. But we really didn't know how it would fare up to a Demon because that being the first time, being put up, I think it was pretty much the first time that he had raced, a car at that power level, the power level that my car was making. So we're kind of unknown. So, maybe that unknown was, something that he didn't want to race because, he wants to control the way that the car is portrayed on the channel. I'm pretty sure that was pretty much the close time around the time that the whole soul snatching had started. I'm not sure who coined that, but anyway. So in that video, it shows him racing me and him beating me, of course. Now we know that doesn't matter how much power you have. Of course, we've always known no matter how much power you have, if you're not putting it to the ground, then what's the use in it? But we didn't know is how a highly modified Hellcat would fare against a stock Demon. But we all saw from that video that the stock Demon, it does not matter how much power you're making. That car puts it to the ground, and it whooped me. I'm just be completely honest. It definitely was surprising that even at my power level, and that the car did so poorly. Now, I will say this: it's not an excuse because I lost, but I should have my head examined for racing that car with stock Hellcat 20-inch rims with just drag radials. So we're talking a 315 3520 drag radial. There's no sidewall on that whatsoever. I had no chance in hell of beating that car, just didn't know it. So basically the whole point of this video is just to kind of shed some light on some of those videos and to respond to some of the comments and some of the little things that have been bothering me for a while now. So had no idea, we had not spoken prior to the video about me taking the sticker off, that if my soul was snatched, which I think he says that he can't snatch a soul that's a Mopar because it's a Mopar because he's snatching them to the altar of Mopar. Anyway, so anyway, we never talked about the sticker coming off, but little did I know, after that race, here he comes with his camera, and basically it caught me off guard. And of course I had a shocked look on my face. I had no idea. We had not talked about the fact that we were going to be filming after that race. So, I definitely say I learned my lesson on that one, or so I thought. So anyway, he talked about the sticker was, the sticker going to come off, and I wouldn't pull the sticker off because it's not something that we talked about. Then, of course, here come the comments. Now, I know I need to get a little thicker skin when it comes to that. I'm not, I'm only a little bit into YouTube, and, I take things pretty personally usually, and I'm trying to learn not to. So that's something that I'm working on myself. But here come the comments. Oh, they're taking digs at me as a man, saying that I'm not a man of my word because, I didn't pull off the sticker like I said. So first and foremost, that never was discussed, ever. Maybe he had said, real quick, I can't recall, but I'm trying to jog my memory. Maybe he had said that, if he beats me, he's going to snatch that sticker off, but I never agreed that sticker was coming off. And so anyway, after that happened, me being the way that I am and the personality that I have, I kind of wanted to challenge authority. Whenever someone's, basically in my face telling me I got to pull a sticker off, then here come all the comments, the sticker needs to come off, etc. At that point, I'm digging my heels in. That sticker ain't coming off. So later on down the road, we had spoken about, hey, let's make a follow-up video because, everybody, was saying such negative things, concerning the sticker and myself, that maybe we should have a video that we put out there where we pull the sticker off. And now, so we had done that, and the sticker came off, and, of course, then here come the comments, good to see that Billy's a man of his word, and the sticker comes off. So I just kind of swallowed my pride on that one. It was all in good fun. But still, it kind of bothered me being, used. I felt like I was being used for views. When it's not something that we had discussed, like, hey, I'm going to come, if I beat you, yes or no, if I beat you, I'm going to come up to you and I'm going to, put you on camera and basically, calling you out for the sticker. That's something that wasn't discussed. And had it been discussed, I probably wouldn't have agreed to it. And me being the kind of person that I am, had I beaten him, I wouldn't have approached him and, gotten, made him, try to make him look bad. That might be a different story now based on the way that I've felt I've been treated over the last few months. But, at that time, that's not something I never would have done. So anyway, let's go a little bit more forward in time. Some more things that have bothered me. The 15-inch conversion. Now, one might say that has some controversy with it because is it modded? Is it not modded? Is it stock? Is it not stock? Herman has said that the car is completely bone stock, as far as the powertrain goes. He has not modified anything with the engine, and that's true. He has not done that. It's still a stock-powered Demon. But when you modify parts of the suspension and parts of the braking system, whether that be in the front or the back, in order to fit a smaller rim on the vehicle, that is modification to the car. That is no longer stock at that point. Now, just if you took a stock Demon and you just put different tires on the stock wheels, it's still a stock Demon. I wouldn't consider that being, a modified car just because you change out the tires. But once you start modifying the suspension and the braking system in order to accommodate smaller wheels, that is indeed modification, whether you want to call it that or not. Me being in the industry, I think I know a little bit more than a former police officer and a martial art instructor when it comes to that fact. Okay, so when we had done that, I had done, made those modifications to the Soul Snatcher, so we could put the 15-inch wheels on there for Herman, because he had told me that he basically had gotten pressured in to race for money in a little bit of a heated situation. He agreed to something that he normally doesn't do, doesn't normally race for money. So he had called me and texted me early on a Sunday morning because he had a race that he had to get to that evening and was wanting every advantage that he could. So that, by very definition, sounds to me like modding a car to give yourself an edge over somebody else. But again, what do I know? So anyway, talk to my wife, because Sundays are normally a no-no for me. That's something, we don't work on cars on Sunday. We spend time together as a family. That's one thing if we're going and doing things as a family, whether that be at the drag strip or whatnot. But spending time away from my family on a Sunday is something that we don't normally agree to. But Herman, we had talked about, trading. I would be trading the work basically on the car for him to help me grow my channel. So, I'd spoken to my wife about that aspect of it, and so we agreed that I would come up there on a hot summer Sunday and work on the car. So we had started working on the car. We got the 15-inch wheel conversion done a few hours later. Lots of cutting, lots of grinding, trying to get these wheels to fit. But it was a success. We were able to get it on the car. It looked great. He was ready to race that night. Well, I'm going to pull the car off of the lift, and I'm backing it out, and I cut a little too soon, and the front little splitter portion where it meets the fender had grabbed the arm of the lift, and it broke the little bumper retainer that's inside the bumper. Cheap little part, 15 bucks. I was able to get it partially fixed so he could, and it didn't even really look like anything was wrong, but got that partially fixed so he could make the race. The race was made. He ended up winning. Everything was great, grand, and wonderful for that. The video came out where he had thanked a few different people, and I can't remember exactly the way that all went, but nowhere in that was I even mentioned, and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So not only did I spend time away from my family to go work on a car, I don't even get any credit or recognition for the work that I did. However, it did get brought up in a chat where I had made that point where, hey, it would have been nice to get some kind of recognition publicly since I am helping you and we are going to grow my channel. But instead, in that group chat that we were, private group chat that we were in, it did get brought up, the fact that, oh, well, I did break my bumper, that I did break his bumper, so that was easy to, to put out there. And so that was it for me. At that point, I texted Herman, and he had called me, and I expressed to him my concern over the fact that I felt like I was being used and not getting the credit that I felt that I deserved. And instead, I'm being dug on for a small mishap. You do 10 things right, nobody says anything. You do one thing wrong, you never hear the end of it. So that's kind of what I felt like the situation was going to. So he had called me, we had talked about it, he gave me his side of the story. He was, he had said and kind of explained, and it made sense where he was fully expecting me to razz back at him, that we would trade hits as far as that goes, and I would say something like, he had said this out of his own mouth, that he had said, well, maybe you could have said, well, you don't even know how to work on your own cars, etc. And which is true. Herman's not a technician. He doesn't work on cars. He's just really good at driving them. So anyhow, we kind of gained some understanding of where we both stood as far as that goes. But after that, didn't quite seem like things were the same. No, I felt like, at that point I had ostracized myself from, being able to, it just wasn't the same anymore with Demonology and myself after that point. Even though I felt like I was, doing it the right way by when I had a problem with somebody that I didn't talk behind their back, I confronted them on it. I felt like we had, come to an understanding on the issue, and that was it. I felt like we had handled it properly. I had handled it properly. He had responded. We both, and that was it. But after that situation had happened, things did not feel the same. So, again, several months later, here we are at the track. Now, the first time, the third time, I did a baby pass at North Star where, I was trying to figure out the trans brake, and little did I know that Herman was there, and I caught flack because I didn't know what I was doing. and I don't know how to drive the car, etc. But yet, this man has had months and months and months of experience racing his car, and I'm just getting to the track trying to figure things out. And here he comes. Oh, I don't know how to drive the car. I don't know what I'm doing. Here, let me give you a trans brake lesson. Listen, I don't need any help from you. I'm fully capable of figuring things out on my own. I can build a car. I can take apart a car. I can figure out how things work given enough time. But no, here he is, an opportunity in which to, be the way that he is, had presented itself. So here he comes at me again. And at that point, I kind of shut down a little bit. He's sitting there talking to me, explaining to me how things work, and I'm just completely tuning him out because I'm pissed, because I don't want to hear it right now. I'm just, is anybody sitting there breathing down his neck when he first got his car, trying to figure out how things work, trying to figure out the trans brake, up at the up at his studio in the middle of the night or early in the morning? Is there anybody there that's showing him the ropes, trying to show him the right way to do it? No, he's figuring it out on his own. That's how I do things myself. I don't ask for help. I'm fully capable of figuring things out on my own. But didn't get that opportunity. So second time out at the car with the car, had nothing to do with Demonology. We were out at Houston for a race. Got one pass in the car, then we got rained out. So I saw that Herman was up at a track, and I had up at Texas Motorplex again, and so I texted him saying, hey, what's going on at Ennis? He said, oh, it's a private event. I go, oh, okay, cool. At that point, shame on me. I shouldn't have said anything, but I told him, hey, I'm going to Extreme. Maybe his plans all along were to go to Extreme Raceway Park that day, but I told him that I was going there too so I could get some seat time in the car. So, I don't know if he was headed up there or not, but anyway, I was able to get a couple passes in the car, trying to get some data, for various things that we're doing with the Demon. And here I see him coming around the corner, and I'm like thinking to myself, oh great, another opportunity is going to come up to where I'm going to be painted in a picture with the brush stroke of Demonology's videos, that it's going to make me look bad yet again. And all I'm trying to do is just to test the car, trying to get some seat time in the car, trying to learn the car, just having an opportunity to do it in a safe manner up at the track. But we live in the same town, so being able to do that without interruption or the camera being put in my face and from a different point of view and making me look a certain way, I didn't have that opportunity because again, we live in the same town, and I mistakenly had said that I was going to be up there testing the car. So he comes up to me with no camera, and asked me, what mods have you done to the car? And I'd spoken to him a little bit about some of it, and which I'm not going to share publicly on YouTube, on Instagram. Not going to do it. So you can ask all you want. I'm not going to share it. So anyhow, he said, oh, okay. So, hey, I want to line up with you. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm still testing the car. The car ran a 596 that day. Again, I'm not trying to cut the best light. I'm trying to get data. Even that race with Herman, I'm data logging, getting data, trying to get the car set up properly. And here we go down the track. Well, he does. My rear end, something snaps in the back, broken internally. I was able to complete the pass going straight because, if you don't know how a differential works, the inside tire and the outside tire, or the left and right tires, if you're going straight, they're going the same speed. But if you're turning left or you're turning right, one wheel actually goes slower than the other one does. So hence the differential is able to accommodate that. If you've ever seen a car that has a locked or welded diff, it kind of is choppy as it's making turns, but it's fine when it's straight. So something had let go internally and did not like it when I turned the wheel. So I knew something was wrong, but I really didn't know it until I had completed the race and come around the corner and go to turn the car, and I knew that something was not right in the differential. Later to find out that something had broken in it, but we got that taken care of. But here I go that evening watching the live stream, and of course, during the live stream, I'm about to race a modded Demon. Oh, here I go. I won, so it doesn't matter, that the car was modded or not, because I'm the best driver in the world, but little did anybody know, with him taking digs at, oh, he can't drive the car, my car was broken. Like, I likely would have possibly lost that race because of the light that was cut, because that's where you win it. It's not how quick or fast your car is most of the time. It's how good of a light you can cut, because it's the first to get there. It's not the quickest who gets there; it's the first who gets there. And cutting that light is where that's what wins or loses a race. So I probably might have lost that race anyway, because Herman's really, really good at cutting a good light. But I had no chance with a broken car. Then seeing the live stream, basically another time that I'm told I can't drive the car. At that point, I'm sure you could see me. I'm steam blowing out my ears. Okay.
It's like the trans brake and a combination of knowing how to drive. The driver mod pulled me through on that one. But it won't be too long till he gets some seat time, and I'm gonna have to eat a little crow. But not today, baby. Snatched him up, because that's what we do. Thing about modding this demon, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the way I look at it.
Then here comes the video of the actual race that he had put up a couple days later with the two Supermans, and there's my name hovering above one. Then here comes the comments of, oh, it doesn't matter, that what kind of, oh, you can afford a car, but if you don't know how to drive it, then what's the point? Again, learning the car. The Herman has likely over 600 passes in his car. I have 5. Okay, 5. Now, I could have more passes if my life only consisted of going to the drag strip to get content for my channel, but it doesn't. Like Herman, I run a business, but on downtime, I spend it with my family. That's the most important thing to me. I try to get out to the track whenever I can, but I'm not there Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, hopping around from one track to the other on the same days. It's like going to the club or something, like going club hopping, got to hit all the clubs, I don't do that. My time, whenever I have downtime, I like spending it with my family. I guess if I did not care about spending time with my children and my wife, that maybe I would be at the drag strip every time it was open, but that's just not the case. I love my wife and I love my kids and I love spending time with them. What's the point in working to build, to pay for things and to build a life if you're not going to enjoy your life and the reason why you're doing it? And that reason is my wife and kids. So, again, I digress on that, but seeing in the comments, oh, I see that, he was so impressed with your demon that he went out and got one of his own. And, to which I reply, yeah, I didn't know cars existed until I saw Herman's. I swear, I don't know. I'd really like to know the age demographic of the Demonology subscriber, because some of the comments that I see are just completely asinine. All these little fanboys, likely that probably don't have their driver's license, have a lot to say, and again, I'm trying to thicken my skin up, because who the hell cares about some kid making a stupid comment? But, we don't know what somebody, looks like personally on the internet. They can make themselves seem however they want when it comes to, a thumbnail or a title or a name or a description. But anyway, when you want to talk about why I have a demon, okay, it has nothing to do with demonology and seeing his car and like, oh, I got to go out and get the car now so I can compete. My whole life, my whole world revolves around demonology. Everything that I do, I'm competing with him so that I can take the crown over him and that I will look better. So whatever I have to do, I'm going to do it in order to do that. Well, guess what? That's not the case. I live my life for myself and my family, and I do things for myself, and for my family. And I don't go and look at what other people have and try to mimic them and to be like them. I'll give you a little bit of quick history. Back when I had my Hellcat, it was all modded up. You guys already know all the stuff that was done to it. When they announced the Demon, I was watching the live stream. I wasn't lucky enough to be there when they were doing the Demon reveal. But seeing the live stream, I was like, oh, I want this car. My dealer had texted me and said, you know, hey, you got the #1 spot. If you want a Demon, it's yours. So when the order banks opened up, the day came to buy the Demon, or to put the money down on the Demon and to configure it how I want. That day came, and I just started basically looking at myself in the mirror, and all the money that I'd spent on my Hellcat, I said to myself, Billy, what are you doing? You know, just enjoy the car that you have. Quit trying to get the next best thing all the time. You know, it's like, oh, you got to get the next pair of shoes that's the newest, or the next iPhone, or, you know, it's a constant pursuit of consumerism that obviously, I mean, look at all the things that I have that I participate in that system. But I basically talked myself out of getting the Demon. So I had contacted a buddy of mine and asked if he wanted my spot. Now, some things didn't work out in the end with him getting a Demon from that dealer, but I passed up my opportunity, and and I didn't regret it at that point. Now, when I was sitting there at the dealership with my friend, they again said, well, hey, we got 3 or 4 allocations. You can still have one if you want one. So I've thought about it. I talked to my wife about it. And again, we just decided that it's just something that we didn't want to do. At that point, it was going to be, if I got one, it was going to be to resell. And I didn't want to be one of those guys to buy the car just to make money. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, being an entrepreneur and finding out ways to earn, have a side hustle or whatnot. Nothing wrong with that. But, I wanted Destroyer Gray from the very, very get-go, because that was a color that was made a year after I'd bought the Hellcat, and I would have gotten the Hellcat in that color had, it'd been a 17 instead of a 16. But anyway, the Destroyer Gray Demon would have been my choice. It was my choice. I was even trying to get my friend Walter to get the Destroyer Gray, just so I could, be friends with somebody with the Destroyer Gray Demon, because they're freaking rad. Okay, so months go by, and I'm sitting here thinking to myself, oh, did I make a mistake? I could have put my car back to stock. I could have sold it. I could have traded it in for the Demon. What was I thinking? Well, I'm trying to shorten the story up, but I had said to my wife, hey, this dealership, has a Demon. What do you think if I got rid of the Hellcat to get it? And, me having the best wife in the world, she said, well, yeah, if you get rid of the Hellcat, you can have it. So got on the phone with the dealership, put a deposit down on it. They ran my credit and all that good stuff. And the date was set for the very next week that I would come pick up the Demon and trade in the Hellcat. So I went on a mad mission to put the Hellcat completely 100% back to stock. Got all that done, got the car traded in, got the Demon, and here come all the Demonology fanboys, saying that, I'm only got a Demon because of Herman, because I can't compete with a Demon, so I had to go buy one. It's completely asinine. So anyway, that's the story on how I got the Demon, and a little bit of touching on that comment. But another comment that was made during that last race that I'm going to read it here. It says, DFW Speed looks salty AF. We all know what that means. You're definitely getting called the N-word after that one. No, I wasn't even mad at Herman for, again, approaching me, on camera again. What I was upset with is that the car was broken. And, it really wasn't, a good race because the car was broken. I can't get a good pass in the car if something's wrong. So that's what I was upset about. Wasn't upset, with being, mad that I lost the race. I was upset about being yet again on camera, having to defend myself again, as to what happened. So anyway, the video comes out of the race, and here's more people making more asinine comments. And again, I'm being put in the light that, oh, it doesn't matter. I don't know how to drive the car, etc. So it's just something that just it just continues to bother me even to this day, and that's why I'm making this video. So another person that I noticed kind of in the same boat as me was a tunnel chaser when he had his demon. So Herman is up there drag racing street speed, in the Soul Snatcher. He completely, whooped street speed's, McLaren. No doubt about that whatsoever. He was given the opportunity to Vinny let him drive his car so he could see what kind of numbers he could get. And of course, Herman's got some experience racing these cars, and he, of course, cut a good light, got a good 60 foot, and got a good time on it. If he had had another couple passes, he might have cracked a 9-second time. But what rubbed me the wrong way is in that same video, little did Herman know that Tunnel Chaser was in the vicinity of the camera and the filming, and Herman goes and says that he doesn't know how to drive the car. And here comes Vin like, oh, what's being said? And then now you're exposed. Now it's all a big joke. Now we got to backtrack, And
Vinny doesn't know how to race, so let's get that straight. And Vinny is not about winning races.
What happened?
Vinny is about being in races. But I'm gonna teach you. Hey, so tell everybody, what was it like racing the Demon for somebody who knows how to race?
And again, for me, it's just the big-headedness. It's one thing, to be confident, but it's another thing to be prideful and to be arrogant. And I really feel like that is where this channel has gone. And it just continues to get a big head, like just keep pumping up that ego. I mean, I don't see how he's going to fit in the car, a year from now. With the ego won't even be able to get in the door. He's going to have to leave some of his ego outside to even get in the car. With the way that things are going. But so again, that's just the two things is just taking digs at people that you call your friends. That's not how friends talk to each other. Yeah, friends can have playful banter back and forth, but when you go out and you make and edit a video and you are talking bad about people on video for the whole world to see, that's not the same thing as friends, taking digs at each other back and forth. That's doing something that's not private. That's on a completely public level, and it makes the other people, look stupid, and it makes them look bad, And at the same time, to be calling those people your friends and to do that's just completely wrong in my book. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is some of the other things that the channel has done that I just think is completely sleazy. When you're talking about starting a Kickstarter because people want to, want people to pay for the track rental and your airfare, etc., to go and race drag times. Well, we all saw how that went. Nobody hardly contributed to it. Why would you want to pay for something that you could just watch the video for free when it comes out? Okay, so having a Patreon, okay, that's fine. You want to be able to see a video prior to it coming out to get a first look, that's fine. But to completely fund the race because it's a race that people want to see, obviously, if they really, really wanted to see it, they would have paid for it, but they didn't, Then when you go and you say, hey, I'm going to live stream the event while I'm there, you just got to PayPal me $5. Give me a break, man. It's just sleazy to me to be sitting here soliciting your followers for every little dollar that they have just so you can go and drag race your car around the country or other people's cars around the country. It's something that, again, if you want to do that, fine. But my opinion, it's just like a sleazy old televangelist, trying to squeeze money out of people that can't afford it. Now, you have your own business. You have your own demon. I don't know what your financial situation is, but peddling to other people that may or may not have the funds, it's just sleazy to me, and I just don't think it's appropriate. I did learn months ago the whole safety fund. Okay, when I heard him talking about the safety fund, my first thought was like, what's the safety fund? Herman's a retired police officer. Well, maybe it's something to do with safety, first responders. Maybe he's trying to earn money to help out a cause or something. But then I learned it's about to buy new safety equipment. I'm just like, oh my God, here we go again. More sleaziness of peddling $1.99 at a time, so I can go buy, a new fire jacket and a new race helmet and, whatever else, because, I want you guys to keep funding this so I can keep bringing you content. So, if this content is worth it to you, then give me some more of your money. Never mind the fact that the channel is monetized and that you're actually earning an income from the ad revenue that's coming in on the channel. Now, I have not spoken with him. I have no idea what the ad revenue is. It may not be nothing. It may be a lot. But, if you go on to socialblade.com and you type in demonology, it kind of gives you an average. And so, you can see that on the high end, yeah, that seems like a pretty decent living to some people out there. That, it might not be a great living, but, this is just extra income. This is on top of his, of his family, what his family earns and what the business earns and his retirement, etc. But for me, when you can afford a Dodge Demon, you don't need to be peddling your subscribers for money when it comes to just so you can go and put out more content. It's one thing to offer up merchandise to say, hey, I support the channel and you're getting something tangible from it, but to give $1 or $5 here or there just so you can continue to make videos, I don't know, it just seems like a sleazy televangelist to me. So anyhow, that's how I feel. Again, this is the first time I've ever done this, calling somebody out publicly for the things that I felt that rubbed me the wrong way. But again, I'm gonna give a shout out to Philip over at Destroyer Gray Productions for his recent videos on MotorTube, on Tall Guy Car Reviews, and all that nonsense that's going on. It definitely gave me a little bit of courage to speak out and to speak up and to really get something off my chest. They say that confession is good for the soul, so that's really all this is just for me to quit carrying this burden. I know it shouldn't matter. I know it's just social media and YouTube and whatnot, and in the end of all things, none of this matters, but it still bothered me, and I still wanted to share my point of view. So, like this video, dislike this video, subscribe to my channel, unsubscribe to my channel. It really doesn't matter to me, guys. Like, I'm doing this as a hobby. I hope that, that this maybe causes you to think a little more critically when it comes to the things that you see online and to not believe every single thing that you see, because not everything TV is different than reality. Because the people behind the camera can cut and edit things to make somebody look any way that they want to. And it's not always right to treat people like that. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a great new year, and I hope you keep putting out videos for you. I hope that you continue to watch them. I hope that the Demon here is going to be setting some records here in the next coming season. Hope to keep the car all in one piece. Anyway, much love to you guys. This is Billy from DFW Speed. I'll see you next time. Bye.